Okay, we're live now.
Good evening, Remy. How are you?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes. Thank you. Mr. Greg, for joining us. This is going to be an amazing session, with the Ugwumba fellows, both old and new, just like I told you before. And this is an opportunity you are presenting to them to be able to formalize their startups and also be able to access capital around the world. So this is introducing Mr. Greg Griffiths, one of Ugwumba's international advisors and the CEO of IDEAX Ventures UK and around the world. So over to you. Sorry, my voice is half cold, so I will be able to moderate this session. So, Mr. Greg, over to you while we wait for the participants to join. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Remy. Well, hopefully your voice gets better with some rest and time. So thank you for the kind introduction. My name is Gregory Griffiths. I'm the chairman founder of IDEAX, including IDEAX Africa and our listed token UCM. What we put together, working closely with Remy and the Ugwumba team over the last few months, is a customized accelerated program course for founders and entrepreneurs, primarily focused on Africa, but in particular to Nigeria. And so the course we put together is really a really good way for startups and entrepreneurs to get a more deeper understanding of what's involved with the startup, ranging everything from creating your pitch deck to sales and marketing to your go-to-market strategy to financials, commercials. So we've tried to put together a pretty solid accelerated program for IDEAX Africa, and we are in the process also of getting the accelerated program certified through one of Ugwumba's educational sponsors and partners, a local university. So that'll be really good to get the actual accelerated program licensed and commercialized. And so, we're looking to obviously talk and meet and support as many different entrepreneurs and founders within Africa, where we are industry agnostic. Outside of Africa, we are 100% focused on Web3 or Web2 to Web3. So that's the other half of the business, which we're very much focused on. So I will wait for a few people to come on. If there's any questions or comments, let me know.
Hello, Mr. Greg, what's the problem? Go ahead.
I was just making sure that we have people online.
Okay.
Hi, Remy, are you still there?
Yeah, we have about seven people
Okay.
in the audience.
All right, beautiful. Then I'll continue then, now that we've got a few that are viewing
Yes.
and watching. So thank you, guys and ladies. So as I was mentioning before, IDEAX Africa is a customized proprietary accelerator package for Ugwumba founders and entrepreneurs primarily. This is open to the rest of Africa, but we have been working closely with Remy for a few months now. And what we're looking to do is to really try and support and better help and assist African startups. And so part of the accelerator package and program does include a annual subscription to the Hatcher Plus platform. They're our technology partner for the startup platform, startup community. Their platform, is top of the food chain when it comes to providing really strong support for startups in terms of their data room, their analytics. There's a whole bunch of AI that's factored into the platform as well. So we provide a subscription for a year for that. We obviously provide the accelerator course, and I will direct you guys to the top of the slide here, ideaxafrica.hatcher.com, register startups. That is where you would go to register for the IDEAX Africa Accelerator package, as well as the Hatcher subscription. So I'll just move to the next slide. A bit of background on who we are and what we do. We're one of the fastest growing startup platforms in the world, more focused on Web3, as I mentioned. Obviously, we are looking to assist Web2 companies transition across to Web3, but we're also industry agnostic with startups in Africa. To date, we've got approximately 180 startups on the platform, which is fantastic. And these numbers grow on a week-by-week basis, split up across both ideax.hatcher.com and ideaxafrica.hatcher.com. So we have a global team of advisors and ambassadors, varying different skill sets from other entrepreneurs, consultants, CEOs, designers, marketing experts. So we've got a really strong team that can support your mission as a startup founder, startup entrepreneur, when it comes to taking your business and your dreams to the next level. We operate in several different countries. Our head office is in the UK. I'm currently based in Australia. And then we have other countries that we work with in India, Switzerland, the US, Nigeria, of course, and Dubai. So we're always hiring. We're always looking for talent to help support our mission of inspiring others, investing in startups and disrupting the space that we work in. So any questions from anyone that's watching this now, feel free to jump into the chat. Feel free to make comments. I'll just give it a few seconds before I talk you through just a very high level overview of what the Accelerator program is. Any questions? Don't be shy. Feel free to put them in the comments box or send me a direct private chat message if you wish. Okay, so in terms of the quick intro on what the Accelerator Supercharger program is, as I mentioned, it's predominantly focused around Ugwumba's founders and entrepreneurs that are looking to take their startup to the next level and what that entails. So we've broken the course down into several different modules, covering different aspects and key areas of what you need, depending on which stage of your own startup that you're currently at. And there's many different areas that you can go into. We focused on the core subject topics such as idea validation. You might be past that stage, or you might be still having an idea that's on a piece of paper, on your phone, in your notebook, So we really want to try and validate it as much as possible to make sure that your idea is just not necessarily liked by your friends. It's liked and wanted by a larger audience, preferably third party. And then we talk you through the business model. What is a business model for your particular startup? There's some really good points on there. There's obviously different stages, different life cycles. And so, what does that business model look like? Is it the right one for your business? And then from a product development perspective, again, some of the startups and entrepreneurs that we work with, they may already have an MVP. They may already be in market. But again, it's really important to understand, with the product, that there's a real use case for it. There's a want, there's a need, there's a desire for it. Otherwise, unfortunately, you can look at some statistics, which have been around for a long time. 85 to 90% of most new products fail within the first 12 months. And these are companies that have billions and billions of dollars of budget. And so don't feel bad if your, first attempt doesn't necessarily hit the mark. The majority of companies fail with this. So we provide, best practice around what that looks like. From a marketing and sales perspective, again, we don't go in granular at a local, global level because there's just too many different target audiences, different cultures, different languages, different religions. So, but we look at it from an overall hierarchy of what you should be doing, different tools, different platforms, different types of technology that you can use to help push your message, push your branding, push your product, out to the wider community. And obviously, the first port of call would be, using social media, which I'm sure most of you do already. From a funding perspective, again, it really depends on what type of funding you're looking for. Are you looking for, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 to build out your MVP, to build out your initial idea? Are you looking for more than that? And that's where, IDEAX is a wider business, works with startups to provide funding for startups that have gone through pretty comprehensive due diligence. That's a really key thing for what we do. We have 180 startups on the platform. Those 180 startups are getting in front of different investors. And currently, the market is tough to raise funds. So if your idea stands out and it's well documented, has a great pitch deck, has a great investor deck, then these are all the types of things that will make you stand out from your competitors or other potential startups. And then going through different growth strategies around that. So we work with a lot of partners. Collaboration is really important to us because it gets us in front of different markets, different verticals, different industries, where we could potentially introduce your startup to a potential partner in the UK or Singapore or the US. So we're always looking to try and collaborate and make introductions to key partners. Looking at legal and accounting, I won't give any legal advice or financial advice, but again, we do give some basics as to the different types of financial reports you can create and generate, different accounting principles, basic stuff. There's a lot of accounting software online, like Xero comes to mind, that you could use, and I'm sure there's local equivalents in Nigeria and across Africa. But again, no legal or financial advice tonight. And then in terms of pitch practice, what does it take to take your idea, your pitch deck, your investor deck, and get that across succinctly to investors, focusing on the key, who, what, why, and focusing on the numbers, focusing on the opportunity, focusing on the why. And so we talk you through that whole process of how to craft and refine your pitch. And then there's a whole bunch of resource materials. There's, I think, 100 or 120 different links. They're all free links to other websites, which we have repurposed. I've gone through all of the links. They should work still today, but there's some great stuff in there around, CRM, CMS, surveys, video editing tools, ideation, prototyping tools. There's a whole bunch on there. So that's extremely worthwhile. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking to certify the accelerator program through one of Ugwumba's university partners. So that will happen in the coming months. So we're looking to get that finalized, which is super exciting. And then we would introduce other courses to the accelerator program. So things like, sales, different types of sales, different price points, different customers, different stakeholders, different champions. So we are looking to bring a lot of our personal experience into this accelerator program. And sales would definitely be one of the core areas. I've worked in the predominantly technology space, more recently in the digital, crypto, and venture capital space. But having sold into some of the world's largest companies, as well as smaller government and NGOs, there's definitely different ways to approach a sales conversation, to get a sales meeting, to send a introductory email to pitch your product or services. There's many nuances when it comes to sales, and so that would definitely be probably the next course that we will look at doing. So that's super exciting. And then from there, we would go to market and look at other partners that we have that already have great course content, great course materials, and we would then bring those onto the platform. And so if you're a founder or an entrepreneur and you're looking at providing some great content that's relevant to startups, relevant to entrepreneurs and founders, specifically within Africa, then please drop us an email at info@IDEAX.UK, or you can go directly to the link on the bottom of the screen, which is coming up now, IDEAXAfrica.hatcher.com. You can register there as a startup, and we can get the ball rolling with that. In terms of what the package includes, as I mentioned earlier, this just gives you an overview of it. It doesn't necessarily include all of it, but you can find out more information, as I mentioned, at the bottom of the screen. So I'll just take a pause and see if there's any questions or comments coming up. Okay, nothing as of yet. Any questions?
See the comments.
Okay.
There are no questions yet.
Yeah, it's just come through. Okay. I need to connect to YouTube to this, but I'm just reading some of the comments now. So really excited to hear what IDEAX does. Nice to be here this afternoon. Thank you, Ava. Charity, thank you for your nice comments. Blunchgist. Yeah, we've got some nice positive comments there, so feel free to keep those comments happening. Thank you, Access TV. Thank you, Bless. So this is the accelerator program that we worked closely with Remy and the Ugwumba team. We are looking at doing, obviously, more outside of this. So as a business, as an IDEAX global business, focused on helping startups and entrepreneurs and founders, you can go to IDEAX.UK, and that will give you more wider information around what we do. I've recently joined Mocha Ventures, which was the first regulated digital assets fund in Liechtenstein, as a general partner. And so for startups and entrepreneurs that are, in their case, Web 2 to Web 3, then feel free to send, again, me an email on that, or you can visit Mocha, MOCHA, ventures.com. Bluntkis, what kind of business are we looking at? For Africa, we're industry agnostic. So we embrace and welcome all kinds of startups, as long as they are there to serve a purpose. They're there to fill a gap in the market. They're there to provide a real life use case. So, it really could be anything from, a blockchain startup. It could be a apparel, a clothing startup business. Could be something related to sustainable development goals or ESG, which is super important to us. It could be in the retail space, could be in the consumer product space. As I said, we're industry agnostic for IDEAX Africa, whereas IDEAX, we are Web 2 to Web 3. Another question here from Abeodun, if I pronounce that properly, I hope. So in terms of blockchain professionals, I guess it comes down to, what type of professional you are. Are you a developer? Are you in sales? Are you in marketing? Again, happy to facilitate conversations and introductions. That's really what, we're about, and especially myself, having, worked my way up from, being a senior salesperson to now, running several companies. And so, feel free to drop me an email. I will just bear with me a second. Let me see if I can connect my YouTube and chat with you guys live. Otherwise, I'll just talk through. Yeah, it's not letting me. That's okay. Abundan, if you can email me at info, info at ideax.uk. I'll respond to you in the morning, and we can have a look at different ways and some different solutions for you to take your existing blockchain expertise and experience and how that could be applied. A lot of the startups that we're working with, they obviously need blockchain professionals, whether or not right now, this moment, or potentially in the the near future. We'd be more than happy to assist and help you. I'm just looking at the next question from Balaji. It's a great question. This year's definitely been a lot harder. It is a buyer's market, or an investor's market per se. I agree. Look, the pitch deck really is there to be the final second best version of yourself. That's how I look at it. And so, the pitch deck has to be articulate, has to, tick off the key questions and drivers that the investor wants to see. You're right there, focusing on financials. The commercials is 100% just as important as the go-to-market strategy, or as the sales model, or your technology, because everything combined together is really what they're looking for. They're looking for a solid founder, solid team, preferably. As I said, the pitch deck is the second best version of yourself. For startups that haven't generated any revenue, it's always going to be tough, no question. My suggestion is you go after, your low-hanging fruit if you have some. Otherwise, try and get, clients into pilots or MOUs or LOIs, a letter of intent, something like that, so that you can prove to the investors that there is a commercial, need for this. And so I would definitely be doing that. If your business is not necessarily SaaS or contract related, and it's more consumer related, then focus on your community. A really good example of getting listed on Binance is most of the entire process is community driven. And so if you have 1,000 Twitter followers, try and get them to 10,000, try and get them to 100,000. Social communities are huge for investors that are looking for something different. It's huge for startups and founders that don't have any existing revenue, or if they do, they're working against a very short burn rate. So it's a great question you asked there, Balaji. Again, I think you just need to sort of look at the market, look at where you are right now today, and look at the gaps within the business. Look at the things that you need to fill, replace, upskill. Another question coming in. So Akame, so IDEAX Africa. I guess it depends on existing startups. They're really for early stage businesses, and so it depends on the type of business, the revenues. But sure, hey, drop us an email. We can have a look at it. But we are focused on startups. If you're a $10 million company, then we're not a good fit. If you're $1 million company, then that's probably going to be something, because early stage in Africa may not be early stage in the UK or the US. Go for it, John. Nice to meet you, John. Okay, I think John's just typing his question, which is great. Okay, still typing. Here we go. Startup. So the question from John is, can startups like schools focus on AI, tutors, get into the accelerator program? So I don't see why not. I think, the question with the school and AI and technology, that's a very good fit for us. So again, John, if you can email info at IDEAX.uk. We can have a look at that. Otherwise, feel free to drop Remy an email with your contact details. Balaji, again, thank you. Great question, really good question, Balaji. So the question is, what's the best advice for startups coming up that have existing business with big brands? That's perfect. What do you think they should do to stay unique? This might sound like a boring response, but to be honest, I think it's the best response. Know what your customer wants. At the end of the day, if you know what your customer wants, you will always deliver. Most businesses don't know what their customer wants. And this includes, very large organizations in the finance space who spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to understand who their customers are, who their prospective customers are, and then who their partners or other third-party clients are. They still don't know. But you're a startup, so you're in a much different space. So you're a lot, hopefully more agile, you're faster. You can provide a lot more access to the key things that they need: customer experience, customer service. If that information's passed through your product team or directly to the CEO, the founder, then you're one step ahead of your competition, because you are working with your client to provide them value, to provide them a customized service, to provide them a tailored product that they can then use and take to market. So yeah, I would always focus on what your customer wants. Not every startup is going to be Apple. You can do as much innovation and ideation in the background with Apple-like products or services, but in the interim, I would 100% focus on your customer and what they need and what they want, because as you know, it's hard to get customers, and it's very easy to lose them. So 100% focus on the customer, the voice of the customer, whatever customer experience you can provide, either directly as the CEO or through your team. So another question here from Neka. How can your organization help startups, and can you please repeat your email address? Of course. Email address is IDEA, IDEAX.UK, info@IDEAX.UK. Remy, can you put my email address in the comments section if you don't mind, as it's not letting me? There he is. Hi, Remy.
Okay,
do you mind putting my email address in the comments, because it's not allowing me to access that?
Well, say it again. Say it again.
Thank you. And John, yes, I will also share with Remy. Yep, no problem. I'll also share with Remy some of the information I shared tonight. There's a lot of information. You can go to Hatcher, as I mentioned. There's a lot of really good information about signing up, understanding the different value adds and services that can be achieved. Question here from Balaji again. Thank you. What does IDEAX Ventures look for in a startup that has same ideas? How do you different and choose the best startups that fit your criteria? So really good question, Balaji. So we have our own proprietary due diligence process, which is pretty tough. And that's, thank you, Remy. And that, which we won't share, obviously, because it's proprietary and custom, that, quickly goes through which startups we want to work with. It's info@ideax.uk, not .com. And so, yeah, we have our own proprietary due diligence checklist. Now, we would carry a weighted balance of startups, so we wouldn't necessarily pick 10 AI companies. And so, depending on what the startup vertical is, you're welcome, Akame, then we would, apply the different criteria. But, for example, there has to be a real world use case. If you're creating a product or a service via your startup, and it's similar to what's already there, then the likelihood is we won't even look at it. We're introducing AI to our due diligence process, and this will be available in the coming weeks. And again, we look at thousands of investor decks, pitch decks, like many other VCs. And so we need to be efficient with our time. Time is, our most precious commodity. So we need to make sure that the startups we're looking at are a good fit for us. And if they're a good fit for us, then they'll be a good fit for the market. And so, you don't have to go to Stanford. You don't need to have a master's. Ideally, you need to be dynamic, energetic. You need to have a passion. Passion's super important, because when you're talking about something, that comes through your body language, and so always try and be passionate with what you do within your startup. That also would clearly surround the rest of your team with your energy, and that again is super important. So look, just with ideas, the more disruptive, the better. Startups should disrupt the market. That's super important. If you have a better version of something in market, that could be a new process, a process improvement, or you're looking to make a small or a large improvement on an existing process that can save 80% of your costs. Great. There will be a market for that, but it won't be as big as writing, say, ChatGPT or something like that. So I think the startup space is super hard. Fundraising right now is super hard, and so the more dynamic and disruptive and innovative your startup can be, any industry, there's a lot of money around for impact investing, and so this comes back to the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, or ESGs. And so if you have an idea that could potentially focus on organics, or focus on the ecosystem, or focus on hybrid, or focus on electric, that can benefit farmers, or manufacturing or logistics. These are all super important. Another question from John. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, if you could email info@ideax.uk, we'll have a look at that tomorrow and get back to you. So thank you so much for your question. Yep, got the question. Okay, any other questions from anyone watching? There we go. Thank you, Remy, for that. So yeah, if you want to send your emails, info@ideax.uk. That's info@ideax.uk. So yeah, feel free to send me any questions, thoughts, concerns about where you are in your journey as a founder, as a startup, as an entrepreneur. And IDEAX Africa will do as much as we can within reason with our partner Remy at Ugwumba, who we're super excited to be working with. And we're looking to build out the IDEAX Africa brand, obviously firstly through Nigeria, and then we'll see where it goes. But we're definitely looking to spend a lot more time and focus on IDEAX Africa in Nigeria. So fantastic. Thank you for that, Balaji. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Any other questions? Remy, was there anything you wanted me to cover off before I signed off?
Okay, no, basically, you have touched everything that needed to be touched. The good thing about this is that those that are going to join later, they can replay the video on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. And I'm sure that we'll continue to follow up with you, as we move. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for dialing in and asking your questions. So yeah, feel free to send us an email, and the team will get back to you shortly. And Remy, thank you, my friend, and the Ugwumba Academy for hosting IDEAX Africa, talking about our accelerated program and some of the wider business that we do in the startup space. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you again. Yeah, I'm sure that we're going to do a lot with you in the coming weeks and months. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
God bless you too. Thank you. Take care. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.